So you want to play an Elementalist build that provides permanent quickness and a lot of other nice wounds to your party in GW2 PvE and has amazing DPS. You sometimes are even top DPS in not that good groups because you have such crazy good DPS, almost 39k if you can execute the rotation perfectly. Then this build is for you. This Catalyst build is extremely fun to play. It feels like playing a piano, but if you enjoy high APM builds, this is for you. As always, thanks to my dear supporters on YouTube, Twitch and Patreon. And without much further ado, let's jump right in. Short disclaimer, this is not a low effort build. But now let's start with the gear. So for the gear, you want to go full Berserker, really straightforward. If you can afford infusions, you would go with power infusions. Your rune is of course Superior Rune of the Dragon Hunter for the most amount of damage. For your weapons, you want to go with Scepter, Dagger. Again, Berserker. On your Scepter, you want to have Superior Sigil of Force, and on your Dagger, Superior Sigil of Impact. Your trinkets are also full Berserker, really easy. If you want to min-max your precision, you would use 5 precision infusions, precise infusions. If you can't do that, then you would just go and swap, for example, the boots to Assassin and you will be fine as well. Like I said, everything else is then Berserker. For your relic, you want to go with Relic of Fireworks. It's just the best damage buff that you can get permanently. For your food and consumables, you want to go with Cilantro Lime Sous Vide Steaks. Just the most amount of damage that you can get and some passive lifesteal as well. Really nice. If you can't afford the Ascended version, you would go with Bowl of Sweet and Spicy Butternut Squash Soup. Gives the same amount of stats, just lose the lifesteal and the damage from it. For your utility consumables, you would go with Superior Sharpening Stones or the Potent version or whatever gives the similar amount of stats. For your traits, you want to go with Fire, Air, and Catalyst. Fire gives you a lot of damage increase, especially when you are attuned to fire, you get more power. You get some recharge reduction on your fire weapon skills and you deal more damage to burning foes. That's also very nice. Then some passive damage from burning. Okay, not that bad. Then you get more power while you have over 10 stacks of might, which should obviously be always the case. And power bonuses are doubled while attuned to fire, so you even more damage while you're on fire. And then you just get some nice damage buff while you hit enemies when they are hit by your fire fields or you inflict burning. So that's why this is actually helping a lot to get this buff very easily up all the time. So you get 10% damage buff all the time. Then you have air. That's so to say the bread and butter of this build. You have more crit chance. You get just some nice damage increase and a lot of ferocity. And your air skills have less cooldown. Then ferocity based on your precision, quite nice. You deal more damage to defiant or disabled foes. And lastly, fresh air. So whenever you crit while you're not attuned to air, you reset your skill recharge of your air attunement swap. So that's really good. And you get a ferocity buff when you swap to air and you should have that permanently up. So that's really good as well. Then Catalyst, that's why this build can be played as a quick DPS because you get access to your sphere and the sphere gives some nice wounds and of course you can upkeep permanent quickness with this. So how do you do that? You get some nice passive stacks to actually get more overall stats, especially precision is important here. But then you also get some nice auras when you combo in a field with a finisher. That is also quite nice. Can, for example, then reflect or stun enemies with that. And you get more just passive elemental empowerment. That's quite nice. And then your Jade Sphere is larger and grants quickness. That's really nice because that's what you want to do. You want to cover quickness as a support. And you also give additional boons. That's quite nice to help your defensive support as well. That's especially nice if you can actually land the Aegis in an important moment to block for your allies as well. And then lastly, your Sphere Specialist trait now gives you 100% increase of your boons with your Jade Sphere. So if you don't have that trait, you actually provide way less quickness, only 2.5 seconds. With it, you get 5 seconds with each sphere, so keep that in mind. And then you now gain energy while your Jade Spheres are active. So that makes you always spam your Jade Sphere. It's an instant cast skill. And with that, you can just always, when you swap to new attunement, if it's off cooldown, use it. This build is played as a quick DPS build. So if you're playing in a group, you would play this as a quickness DPS, offensive supporter. You can play it in very easy open world fights as well as a solo build. But I would highly advise you to check out my Catalyst solo build guide in the top right hand corner or a link in the description below. And now let's talk quickly about the skills before we go to the rotation. So for the web healing skill, you can go for any one that you like here. Signet of Restoration is just some nice passive heal. Then Relentless Fire is just amazing damage buff. Use that if you can in your fire sphere, because then the duration is increased. Obviously really nice on a damage buff. Then you have Lightning Storm or whatever Firestorm where you are currently in the element. This is really nice, it does some nice damage. You would start with the Firestorm in the rotation, but after that you would always use your air attuned one. Then passive Signet of Fire helps you crit cap. You would never swap that, it's really important that you crit cap. And you would also always try to use those two skills just for more damage. You can swap to more CC, for example, with Arcane Wave, or if you are on a small hitbot boss, you can go for Arcane Blast as well. If you need a teleport or a mist form to get invulnerable, use those of course as well, or even go for Armor of Earth for some nice stability and protection and barrier, but typically this is the best setup for DPS. And then you have Glyph of Elementals, really nice for damage, use it in either fire or air for some nice damage or CC, or use it in water for some crazy good healing, but typically you are playing a DPS, so you don't care about healing your allies that much. The weapon skills are really important. Your 2, 3, 4, and 5 on fire do some crazy good damage. The Phoenix actually also cleanses a condition, is also unblockable, and your 2 and the 3 are also some nice blast finishers. In air you have some instant cast skills on your 2 and 3, use them off cooldown of course. Use Ride the Lightning for damage and repositioning tool. The 5 is some nice evade but also some breakbar damage. In water you have some nice damage on your 2 and 3 again. Your 4 is an instant cast and your 5 is some nice healing, keep that in mind. And the Earth Attunement has some nice blast finishes with your 4 and 5. They also do some nice damage, as well as the 4 some nice CC. The 3 skill also should be used as CC damage, and the 2 skill should be used twice because it does some nice damage and also applies some nice barrier to you. When it comes to the rotation, you always cycle through your elements in a specific order, and the order is always you start in fire, go to air attunement, go to the next attunement, go to air attunement, and go to the next attunement, go to air attunement. So it would always alternate between one attunement and air, and another attunement and air. So you start with fire and go into air, then you go into earth, then again in air, then you go into water, and then again in air, and then you repeat that loop with fire. Make sure that you cast your Jade Sphere all the time when you swap to an element where you don't have the Jade Sphere off cooldown, and use it on your group of course to actually provide the boons to your allies. For your opener you want to start in fire, you want to use your Dragon's Tooth and Firestorm and Relentless Fire. Before you cast Relentless Fire though, make sure that you actually used your Jade Sphere in fire and you stand in it so that you get a longer duration of it. Then you use Fire Grab into Ring of Fire and Phoenix and swap to Air Attunement. Use Ride the Lightning while you use the cast of that, lose Lightning Strike and swap to Earth Attunement. Again, you should always, if the Jade Sphere is up, you should use it. So in air you would use it also instantly while you use Ride the Lightning. While when you swap to Earth, you instantly use the Earth Sphere as well. Use your Earthquake and into double tap Hurl. Use Dust Devil and Churning Earth. Swap to air attunement, use the Lightning Stripe. Swap to water attunement, use the Jade Sphere there, Shatterstone into Water Trident and Frost Roller. Try not to cast it twice because the second time has a cast time. Then you use Water Trident and swap to air attunement and use Light the Lightning with Lightning Strike again. And then you follow the loop after that. Always go into fire, use all your weapon skills. Go for one auto attack there as well. Swap to air attunement, use Light the Lightning with Lightning Strike. Always use your Jade Spheres in all the attunements when they are up. And swap into Earth Attunement, use Rock Bear into Hurl. Into Dust Devil, Earthquake and Churning Earth if it's up. If it's not up, just go to air instantly. Use the Lightning Strike, go to Water Attunement, use a Water Trident, into a second Water Trident if it's up, which should be every second loop, and then you go into Air Attunement and use Light the Lightning and Lightning Strike again. So every second time you go into Air Attunement, you use Light the Lightning, and always use your weapon skills that are available when you swap into Attunement. Use what is there, and don't wait. Never wait for anything. The only important thing is that you use the Relentless Fire inside of your Fire Sphere. So I hope I could convince you to play this very fun piano Elementalist build, and it's really strong. It is extremely crazy good in the DPS side, but also a lot of boons for the high DPS. So I hope you enjoy this build as much as I do. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to all my supporters on YouTube, Twitch and Patreon. And I hope to see you all in the next video.